As we cross-section into other committees, we are constantly hearing statements made by colleagues and the other folks who offer testimony. And I want to take this opportunity for you all to clarify that and let the public understand that science has been politicized and weaponized against we're fighting amongst each other rather than helping each other. So if I might, Mr. Chairman, ask a couple of questions of these gentlemen,
yes,
since they are experts. And I'm sorry I didn't get your last name, but your
Urso, U-R-S-O.
Thank you, Dr. Urso. Would you describe how a patient with hyperimmune response would present themselves so that the committee understands in full what that would look like? Because, again, I think some of the patients that have had the vaccine, in my anecdotal comparing of notes, are actually presenting themselves to have a hyperimmune response.
Dr. Urso.
That's correct. So what you're seeing is very similar like you have in a peanut allergy. These people are the ones, if you look at the charts from the VAERS database, in the first 2 days, a tremendous number of patients die. These are the hyperimmune responses that are happening, and they're happening relatively quickly, as if you had basically, for the most part, like a peanut allergy. I think that's the best way for most people who don't actually do medicine to understand it. So these hyperimmune responses are because they already have in their system many, many antibodies to many portions of the virus. So when you give them the vaccine, they are prepped and ready to go. And a lot of them are younger patients who would never have died from the virus anyway. And so once these patients get the virus in their body, they already have so many antibodies already prepped and ready to go. And then you take it and you put a vaccine where they're going to put in, basically, the vaccinated are actually producing more spike than people who are actually sick from the disease. These studies have come out in the last month where they're showing the vaccinated are still producing spike protein even 2 months later. We're producing massive amounts, and they've already had the virus. They're going to have a hyperimmune response. That's the key factor in that.
Chair Lady.
Thank you. And a second question. This has probably been the biggest piece of information that's being presented as fact that I think is actually would fall into disinformation, is that if you have a vaccine, does that in any capacity prevent you from carrying, spreading, or transmitting SARS-CoV-1 in any iteration? Because one of the things that is often stated for the purpose of having vaccines is to prevent the spread of COVID.
I'll let Dr. Cole answer. He's covered it already. This is clear information.
Dr. Cole.
Yeah, it's absolutely.